Hello, everyone. Hey, Jay's Crazy Obsessions, first one in the house. Just wanted you to know your live stream makes my Wednesday better. That is awesome. Glad to hear it. Texas Fishing with Dan the Man. Men were the only ones in the theater. Well, for now, hopefully now we'll get a few more people in here. We already have 2 likes, though, which is sweet. It's an awesome deal. Welcome, everyone. I wanted to show you that I've changed the setup of the little garter snakes a little bit here. Well, quite a bit. I've got this new enclosure. Pardon me, I'm going to move this. Swing open the door. I'm just making very, very sure that nobody can get out, as you see here. And I'm going to change the chat so I can see everybody. So, Jay's Crazy Obsessions, welcome. You know what? I do have baby geckos available. Just thought I'd let you know I pulled like 5 in the last week from the vivarium. Excuse me. 5 hatchlings. So, yeah, I've got plenty if you want to do that. Set up for you there. So check out this enclosure. The brand is Weather Tight. I don't know if you can see that right there. Can't really focus on it very well with the way the camera's set up right now. But it says Weather Tight. It's a 19-quart tote. I love this container. Let me show you a couple of reasons why. I drilled all these holes with the drill and it was super easy. A lot of the transparent plastic doesn't drill well, but as you can see, this drills super well. It's super easy. I didn't have any problems with drilling it. That goes with the lid as well as the sides of the container, as you can hopefully see now. I'll set this lid aside here and celebrate the return of my 3rd little snake here. Let's see, nobody's hiding on that. Pull out the water dish. I can see 3 little snake heads. I don't know if you can. Oh, that would work. That would work if she wants to get them for Christmas. That would work. Oh, sorry, little buddy. Okay. So, let's check it out. Can you see all 3 there? Yeah, there you go. I am so excited that the 3rd one came back and is doing so well. It's a little smaller than the other 2. I think it was already, but it's a little more small than it was. So, yeah. Look at this. Good ratio. We got 6 in the house and 6 likes. Now, these little snakes, so funny. They are a little bit skittish when I want to get them out. But usually, right after I get them out, they calm right down. And they're totally happy. You can see them milling around in the back there. The other 2. It is so amazing that the one came back. I just found it out in the hallway. Some of you probably saw my post on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or on the community YouTube page. I posted it to all of those places, indicating that the 3rd snake was back. I'm so excited. I walked into the hallway and it was just there and I froze. Just thought, wow, there it is. It's not one of the other ones that got out, did it? And it wasn't. It was the missing snake back with us. So awesome. So I'm going to feed him today. I've been trying to get him on about twice a week. For a while I was feeding him more heavily. But I think about twice a week is right for these guys when they have some nice nutrient-dense food. If it were worms that I've given them all the time, then I'd have to feed them more often. But I'm giving them pinky parts and stuff like that, so I don't need to eat quite as often. Yes, Kate's in the house. Yes, it has been a great blessing that they're back. So BBC, you're going to get some garters, huh? In a community habitat like I'm going to do. The larger container that these guys are in, the larger enclosure on the outside of the other enclosure, is going to be their bioactive enclosure someday, but they're just not quite to the size where I feel like I can put them in here. They just kind of get lost in here at this point. I need to make sure that I can clean up after them properly and everything at this point, but they get a little older, I will do that. Yeah, they didn't terrorize the cat or vice versa, you never know. But yeah, they're doing great. And they are growing so fast, it's true. And I wish I could see their color a little bit better, but other people have told me that their colors are looking pretty nice. I mean, they're not, adult colors yet, but they're growing. For sure. They're a little hard to weigh at this size because putting them in a container and getting them to stay there. But that is awesome that the reds are coming out more. Once they shed, I think that helped a lot, and I wish I could see it as much as some other people can, but that's what I get for being colorblind. Not that it's my fault, but that is just my lot in life. I mean, I think I can see it a little bit when I look up really close to them, but not as much as everybody else can. Excited for that. Well, a garden's a pretty good place for garter snakes. It's funny how many people call them garden snakes, but or gardener snakes. You get all sorts of variations on the theme. But see, this is what I wanted to convey about how the snakes are doing. They are so chill once I get them out. I think they kind of freak out because their instinct tells them something's coming from above. It's gonna eat me, and you see how they're jumping around when they see my hand. But something I've been starting to do, if I just put my hand there, they'll kind of crawl right up it. You see that? I know they probably can't see it really super well. But that one just crawled right up into my hand. Kind of fun. If I just stay still, they'll tend to do that. Oh, you know what? In this light, now that I move the light a little bit, I can see the reds a little better. It's pretty awesome. Oh yeah, the baby corns too. I've heard that. I've never had a baby corn because we adopted our corn snake when it was over a year old. But I've heard that the baby corns are very jumpy too, and hissy sometimes when you approach them. Of course, they get over that. And that they ate other venomous snakes. Oh, that's kind of funny. She had one for about a year. That's cool. His name was Cobra. That's cool too. Yeah, I guess your dad, BB Seal, was kind of confusing them with king snakes, because king snakes will eat venomous snakes. So I'm wondering if that's what is going on. Oh, the chat got messed up. It got switched to top chat, so I just fixed it so you can still chat if you'd like to. I have a question for you all. I'm gonna put these guys back. I need to feed them tonight, but I'm not going to do that on the live stream because I did it last time. But I was just wondering if you would like to see my Phidippus regius. She is out and about, I think. Yep, she still is. And that would be kind of fun to see her. Here, guys. They love this little hide. They inherited it from my corn snake, who can no longer fit in it. Oh, they're getting to the point where they could just slither right out of this. So, okay, well, I've got a couple of votes for yes that I saw as I was putting things away. That means we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So I'm going to just pop the lid on here. One thing that worries me, I really, really don't want to close that lid on a snake, so I try to be super careful about that. That would just be awful. That's like my nightmare. I'll change the lighting a little bit here if I can, so that you'll be able to see the little spider better. Maybe like that. And I will see if I can coax her out. She has been really shy her last couple of molts. But she's quite a bit bigger than she was. She had a nice meal yesterday. So I'm going to see if I can coax her out. Maybe she'll do a little bit of hand-to-hand jumping or something. Phidippus regius are very similar to Phidippus audax, which is one I can find around here, but they do get bigger and their colors are different. The females of this morph anyway have a pretty orange color to them. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, there you go. You can see her little face. There it is. She looks like she's doing okay. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so we got 3 votes of yes. So I'll honor that. Focusing is going to be a little tricky. Oh no, that's not bad right there. Oh, it wasn't. For a second, we got a pretty good focus and then lost it. Maybe boom. How's that? My face is my hand is too close. But Alexandra, glad you like it. She's a pretty cute little spider. She's been pretty reclusive since she started molting. She's molted, I think, twice for me. And before the molt, she was really outgoing, and then she just kind of, nope, don't want to do that as much. She used to love to jump between hands or fingers, and I don't know that she's into that right now, but at least she's a little bit more friendly than she was for a while there. I love that. Make it Kate. That is great. Give the spider some love, and she'll make lots of baby spiders. I did have a Phidippus regius this season. My son caught it, I want to say, in the spring, maybe? Late spring? I don't know. Something like that. And are you going to go? Are you going to jump a little bit or not? No? Caught it in the spring, no, I think I caught it. He told me where it was. But anyway, we found it in the spring, and she was already gravid and produced, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 egg cases. And the first one I rehomed with a jumping spider breeder. And then the second one hatched, and there were spiders everywhere, and I was feeding them fruit flies and stuff, but they were going nuts, and I released a ton of them outside. And I released the female outside because I just couldn't take care of all the little spiders, so I ended up letting them all go. But of course they're not native to this area. I shouldn't say they're native because they're not, but they are established in this area, so it wasn't causing a problem. But there you go. I had to do it because they needed to be released, but that's cool because I'll probably find some of those babies as adults next year, who knows. I mean, they do disperse pretty effectively, but make it Kate, I love that. Somebody must have kissed her anyway. Oh, I don't know if you can see the colors very well. Can you see the colors? Can you see her orange coming out? I don't know. I hope you can. Nope, that's not the right button. I just pushed. There we go. That is better. Oh, you can see the colors. Good. Yeah, she's getting quite a bit bigger than she was. I'm going to show you her enclosure. This is the top of her enclosure. This is the enclosure made by Big Fat Fids. Here's her nest right here, or molt sack, whatever you want to call it. She's webbed that up pretty good in there. I think you can see some bits of her molt, her recent molt. And then this is the bottom of the enclosure. It's got another of these lovely ventilation grommets, and this is a really, really fine mesh, so things like fungus gnats, I don't think they could get through that. It's pretty fine. And I just cleaned this out yesterday. I love these. If you're interested in them, Big Fat Fids makes them and sells them. And so this, yeah, she usually jumps. I don't know why she's not doing a lot of jumping today, but she's not. She's not into it. I don't know why. Let's see if we can. Oh, she just did it. I don't know if you saw that, but she totally did it. I was going to put her in a position to help her jump, and she just did it anyway. So, so is this the one you got from the auction? I've forgotten. This one I just got. It's kind of a present for myself with the birthday money that I got. So this was like back in July. She was a lot smaller then. She's probably twice the size that she was then. Maybe even more. I mean, she's considerably larger. She's got some growing yet to do. They can get pretty big. The Phidippus regius gets a lot bigger than the Audax can, I should say. They don't always. You gonna do some jumping? I don't know. Okay, let's see what we got up here. And JB Photos made it to stream. Excellent. Glad you're here. Always glad to have new people in the stream. And the stream veterans as well. Everybody. All welcome. Nah, she's not going to jump today. At least not at the moment. Look at that face, though. She's awesome. Got the cutest little face. Ooh, no, that's not bad right there. You can get a good look at her. See her little eyelashes? The things that I think of as eyelashes. Oh, that's pretty cool right there. Focus isn't really too bad. I like that. Let's see with the mantids. Okay, one of the mantids, unfortunately, didn't make it through the terminal molt. It collapsed during the terminal molt. It landed on the ground and didn't make that. They usually don't survive that, and it did not, which is unfortunate. The other one did. I'm going to try to put this little lady back and pull out a mantis, because why not, right? There you go, back in your house. I'm not sure you want to do that though, do you? Maybe she does. I don't know, we'll see. Let's just try to gently guide her back in. Why don't you pop back in there? There you go. Don't want to close this on you. There. Now we're all good. She's back in her house. We'll put her up here. Okay, I'm going to pull a mantis out. It'll take a second. The mantis is close by here, but it'll take a second. The house number one, they can live, I think about 1.5 to 2 years, just kind of pushing it, but somewhere around there. And she, I've had her since July. She was probably a spring spider. Okay, almost have the mantis for you here. This is the mantis that we raised up from an egg case and to an adult, right here. Well, it's doing pretty well, I think. And it's doing pretty well. It does seem to have a slight abnormality with one of its raptorial forelegs, but not so bad that it can't eat. It seems to leave it folded like that most of the time, which is unusual. But it can eat just fine. It hunts and eats. It's not bad. So JB Photo said, okay, wrote to you a while back regarding getting me some back into reptiles. I do remember that. Expecting my first morning gecko hatchlings in another few weeks. Awesome. That is very cool. Baby morning geckos are really fun. I think I may have mentioned I pulled about 5 out of my adult enclosure. Well, one of them I found running around on the floor somehow, and then the other 4 I pulled out of the enclosure recently, in the past few days, past week, something like that. So they're doing well. I've kind of lost count of how many hatchlings I have and juveniles in the grow out enclosure. I think I have probably around 9, or maybe more. I'm not even sure. I look in there and there are always tons. So look at this face. That's a beautiful face too. Mantis face. Look at that. I love the little dance they do. Very cool. Oh, I'm going to put this one back in. I want to show you the Porcellio magnificus monkey that just showed up. Oh, maybe we can get a glance at the velvet ants. I see one of the big velvet ants running around. The biggest one. Somebody wanted an update recently and we did one, but then the stream crashed. So we don't have access to it anymore. But, oh, look, there's the one in the back. This is my big velvet ant running around. I saw 2 of them running around a little while ago. This is my Dasymatilla klugi. My Dasymatilla bioculata was running around. Oh, I just scared her. They're kind of scaredy cats sometimes. They can be. Let's look at a larva. Let's check one out. I know I've got some big ones over here. The tricky part is doing the lighting, but I think I can do it. If I put this back on the tripod, I can make it work. Because I really have fun doing the requests on the live streams when I can. I think it's cool. Customize them a little bit. I think this is one of the enclosures that I have one of my largest ones in, and you just kind of got to sift around in there, see what you can find. Sometimes it takes forever. It's pretty hard to find them. This is one of the larger larvae. I don't know if it's the largest, but oh, got something stuck to me. Okay, here is one of the larvae. Notice it's doing its thing, feigning death. They don't seem to do it quite as long as the adults usually, but they do feign death. For a little while. Okay. Yeah, I think it's cool they do it as larvae too. So Jay's Crazy Obsessions, were you the only one who had a quality problem for a minute there? Look, it's looking pretty dead, isn't it? It's doing a pretty good job. Feels alive though. Frames are skipping a little still. I should stop wiggling it. I'm going to make it stay asleep. Problem is I'm in a funny position. It's hard to not move them. Oh, it's working on Wi-Fi better. That's good. Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. So house number 1. I don't keep them at 80 plus yet because the larvae do better at cooler temperatures. Once they get a little older, once they get to the mature larval stage when they're about 2 inches long, that's when you put them at 80 plus. So Dean Ryder said, oh no, that's weird. Is that just slipping or was it moving itself? Wow, I wonder if they start feigning death for longer when they get older. Oh, it's starting to wiggle a little bit. It's moving its abdomen. Oh, there it goes. It's moving its head. A little bit. So, doing its thing. How many larvae have I got? Good question. I think I have... Oh yeah, now it's starting to curl around a little bit. I think I have 8 isolated from the adults, isolated from each other as well. But I have others in with the adults as well. The other day I was just digging around in there and found one pretty fast. I don't know how many are in there. I could probably dig and find another 8 pretty fast. But I have not done that. I'm just trying to see what happens if I do some isolated and some with the adults because I want to see what's most successful. I suspect that isolating them is going to be more successful because they're going to not be competing for resources, but also they can be cannibalistic. And I don't want to lose them that way. But I've got, like I said, 8 isolated, and I'm going to be getting an enclosure or an incubator pretty soon. Because as soon as this one reaches 2 inches, there'll be a couple more of that size, and then there are quite a few others that are smaller that are going to be reaching that size too. And make it Kate's. Oh, I can feel it nibbling on me. They do that every time. When I pick them up, if I have them out long enough, they start nibbling on me. Probably hungry. Should give them some fish food. I probably won't sell this clutch, so to speak, or this cohort this year. I want to see how many of these as possible I want to get to adults, and if any I get to adults I want to keep with my other ones and just make a really robust breeding colony, because if I had 8 plus the 6 that I have or whatever, 5 or 6, I don't know, that I have, that'll be a pretty robust breeding colony. And then I will sell next year. I'll start selling them. Why not? I'll probably do that. I think that would be cool. Start getting them out into the hobby. So house number 1, how long do you think the larvae will take to pupate? Not sure. I think 5 months to a year is what Dean Ryder said, something like that. So and from egg to adult, 5 to 8 months. No, 5 months to a year, depending on things. And so I'm not sure. I'm guessing another couple of months as a larvae for this one, and then it'll be time to start pupating. And then a few more months as pupate, but not really sure. So make it Kate. Seen a few inexpensive incubators in the reptile section of the classifieds. I gotta keep looking. I keep forgetting to look. I remember you sent me that link. That got me, that was a good reminder that I need to start looking, but I haven't done it for a little while, so. We're getting close. Let's see. And so Jay's crazy obsessions. Well, so those are the rats you're talking about, right? That you, one rat had babies. It was going to be a feeder. Okay. I'm going to show you what I've got going on over here. Oh man, no, I can't. Can I? I don't know. I'm going to try. See if I can make this work. Okay, I'm going to move this just a second and turn on. Can I turn on the flash? I don't know if I can do that. This is my Asian forest scorpion. Here it is. It's still tiny, but it's molted a couple times. I'll just give you some comparison for size. See, it's pretty active little bugger. You don't need to sting me or anything. But there you go. I can't take it out because it's plugged in. It's got this tiny under tank heater. It's keeping it reasonably warm along the side. I don't put it on the bottom because then it can burrow down there and cook. But it's doing pretty well. It's been fun. I like its personality. It's pretty excited about things. I think it might actually eat again soon. It's been a little while. They do these threat displays that are pretty cool. I'm just trying to scoot you out of the way so I can put your home back. Your little hide there. There you go. There we go. Okay, let's see what else we got going on. I wanted to show you the Porcelia magnificus, right? So let me get that going before we run out of time here. If you've seen my Instagram, you may have seen these guys. Was that yesterday? I think that was yesterday when I first found the little babies. And they were kicking around in here, so I'm going to dig just a wee bit and see what we can find. Oh, I can see some. There's one just next to that piece of zucchini. Tiny little baby. Couple tiny little babies. See those crawling around? I think that's a young male that's eating some of the zucchini, and just to his left I see a couple little babies milling around. See if there's any more down there. Oh, thought I saw another one. There's a couple. There's a pretty big batch yesterday when I was looking, so very exciting. First time that these have bred for me. So let's see. There's another couple of babies down there under the zucchini. I see like 4 of them down there, it looks like. I guess that was kind of rude of me to move that piece of zucchini away from that. Oh, there's like 5, 6, I don't know, 7. There's quite a few of them down there, so that's kind of fun. Yep, sorry about moving your zucchini. I'll put it back so y'all can have your dinner back. But pretty exciting to see babies. Baby Porcelia magnificus. All right, there's my... Ooh, sorry. I want to take a peek at some stuff over here. Can I get this down? I don't know. I'm not going to try that one. Getting it down from where it is might be hard, but I'm going to move this other container. I apologize for the clatter and clamor as I do this, but here we go. Just take a peek at the dairy cows because they're so fun and so popular. These are one of my big sellers at the Reptile Expo, and there's so many in here. Because not only do I have a ton just sitting on the cork bark, but there are loads and loads of them down in the leaves, kicking around in there. I might actually have to take a break from selling them for a little while soon, because I've been selling so many, I want to make sure I keep enough. But there are plenty, and they keep producing. And you just can't see quite as many since I just replenished the leaves in here. And I want to show you my experiment. Remember when I talked about the Porcelio laevis orange crossed with the Porcelio laevis dairy cow, and seeing if that were possible? And since then, I've heard a lot of people say it's not possible, and that's probably true, because right now, so far, I'm only seeing a whole bunch of little orange ones and a whole bunch of little dairy cows in here, which is interesting. But, you know, something else I've noticed is that the dairy cows seem a lot more prolific than the oranges. I put the same amount of oranges in here as I did dairy cows, but I think like for every orange baby in here, I see like 5 dairy cows or something like that. And the springtails are certainly kicking into high gear, aren't they? I also feel like the oranges are shyer than the dairy cows. Seriously, they're not as day active, which is really interesting if they're the same species. I don't know what's going on with that. But I do get a kick out of this enclosure that there's so much going on in terms of, you know, the different colors and patterns. So I think it will be fun if this just grows into a big colony of oranges and whites and springtails. That's fun too. It's kind of like my morph mix of Porcelio scabbers, just not quite as mixed. Yeah, but these springtails, I think these are the Cinella curvicetta springtails. They're a little hairier, and they're a little faster when they run than the Fulsomia candida, so they're easy to tell apart. But they are they populate most of my isopod enclosures. The Fulsomias are the ones I got later, and so most of my isopod cultures already had them, and so that's what I ended up keeping in there. Worked well. Let's see what else we can pull out. Let's look at the high yellows while we're here. Of course, high yellows is sort of a misnomer at this point because not all of them are high yellow, but there's some on here that are looking like they're going to be, see this one right in the middle of the screen? I think that one is going to merit the title when it gets big. Some of these are looking like that, some of them are not. You can see some of them almost have no yellow because the males don't really carry this gene, but some of them are really looking like they're going to pop with some cool colors. Here's some more. I'm interested to see what we get. At least now I got plenty to work with. This is just Armadillidium vulgare, but it's a line that I've been working on. Trying to get some of this high yellow gene stuff to come out because I found one in a canyon when my son found it, but we collected one in the canyon that was almost entirely yellow. It was crazy. And this is like maybe 4th generation from that group that we collected. And I'm not sure what's going to happen with it because it seems like once they reach adulthood, a lot of them don't have the color anymore. Oh, there's a dead one. That's no good. But they don't really keep the color in once they're adults. Not all of them. The rubber duckies. I do have a lot of animals and you haven't even seen all that many of them yet. The rubber duckies are doing okay, but I feel like, I don't know that I've found any dead ones or not many. Maybe I found one, I don't remember for sure. But I'm not seeing them breed yet. I hope to see them breed soon. Let's take out the clowns. The clowns are starting to bounce back. I've had a few die-offs with this one over time, have times when they're doing really, really well and times when they're not doing so well. This is one of the like surges back into back into a colony that's producing well. You can see there's a lot of babies in there. Most of these are babies. None of the ones in this picture are mature. Some of them are probably almost adult size, some of those larger ones there. But it's taken a while because I had, see there's an adult heading off, there's another adult there. They were doing really well and I had like loads of adults in here and then suddenly they died off. So not all of them, but you know, they died back, I guess I should say, where they started disappearing and I wasn't having such great luck with them. There's a little guy on there. Oh, I dropped it, no good. Anybody under here? Oh, there's some babies on the magnolia. There's actually quite a few. Looks like kind of back in there. Okay. Yeah, the duckies are fairly slow bleeders. I'm glad your clowns are doing well too, though. And Jay's crazy obsession. How many actual animals do you have, not including inverts? I don't know. I didn't count those. Well, we have 1 cat, 1 budgie, 7 chickens. We've got some frogs. Let's see, 4 or 5 frogs right now, I guess. And an axolotl. I'm just going to point you down at some shrimp while I'm thinking. And check out some shrimp doing their thing. So, where was I? 5 frogs and an axolotl, 4 snakes, 4 crested geckos, 1 leopard gecko, approximately, I don't know, maybe 14 morning geckos. How many fish? I don't know. I've got probably 30-ish multis and 100 endlers and a couple of goldfish. Let's see. What are we at? We've done mammals, reptiles, birds, fish, amphibians. I have no idea what that is in actual numbers. So yeah, I do have some frogs. And Make It Kate, I'm glad you caught a live stream too. Thanks for joining in. I hope to catch you in a future live stream as well. Let's see. Oh, sorry, covered up the camera. I do that sometimes without thinking about it. JB Photo said, how is the leopard gecko bioactive enclosure going? Actually, it's doing really well. The only annoying thing that's been happening lately is some spiders are getting in there occasionally. We have to dig them out. But let me show you. This is it right here. I was going to show the frogs, but on the way. This is the bioactive enclosure. We've got an aloe plant growing right here. And this is the worm hide. This is the under tank heater right along the side. So it creates a nice warm hide in there where it can get belly heat. And then here's some jade plants that have been doing well here in the back. Got lots of cork bark hides. You can see some of the bioactive cleanup crew right there in the center. Those are all powder blue isopods. They're eating, what did I throw in there last time? I think that's a piece of zucchini or something. I try to, bolster their population by feeding them a little extra. There's the food dish. And this is the cool hide right here. It's supposed to have this more on it, so it's a little bit more camouflaged. Been meaning to do something about that. And then here's the water dish, and then over here is the latrine area. None of the poop actually survives. The isopods eat it all, but they do leave behind some of the urates, so we need to clean that out again. Have to do that occasionally. But yeah, it works super well. There used to be more mealworm beetles and mealworm larvae in here, but I think our leopard gecko ate them all. Where is she right now? Oh, she's in her cool hide. She ate yesterday, so I'm not sure she's terribly excited about coming out. I can see if she will. Sometimes she'll come out if I just kind of dig around. She gets interested in what's going on. So, yeah, so it's been doing well. Kind of like how it looks, except for that hide that I was talking about. I need to fix that. But other than that, pretty much like how it looks. So, glad you're enjoying that. I'm going to grab a paper towel so I can show you the dart frog enclosure real quick. Oh, it's later than I thought it was. I got to go in a minute. But here, let's do this. I'm just going to, this is for Heather. I don't know if Heather's in the stream, but maybe she'll catch it later. Heather, also Alexandra asked about this as well. But here, now you can probably see into the enclosure a little bit better. I just kind of moistened it down. You can see there's a piece of zucchini I put in there for the cleanup crew. We'll see what they do. But Heather sent me a ton of moss recently and some liverworts, and I was really excited about that. And I've put them into various patches after I treated them, of course. And let's take a look at how they're doing. I don't know if that's focusing very well. Oh, that's a little better. You can see that some of it's really starting to perk up. Usually the treatment process, which in this case I gassed it with CO2, is not as hard as the bleach treatment. But the whole acclimation process, it gets shipped and then it gets moisture, temperature, humidity all change and so on, and it can shock the plants a little bit, but then they kind of bounce back many times they do. And here's this one's doing really well over here. I want to show you this one. Look at that. I love that moss. It's pretty awesome. Looking good. And then here is a patch of liverwort in the corner that's really starting to green up a little bit. I'm liking that. Some of that moss down there is just Java moss that I threw in a while ago, but a lot of this stuff is from Heather Jensen, who is a subscriber and viewer. So there's this patch which isn't doing quite as well. I think it is starting to green up though. You can see some fruit flies. I just threw some fruit flies in there a little while ago for the frogs. So there's quite a few still in there. But this part's finally starting to green up. I think it's just slower than the other stuff, this big patch, but I do see it making some progress. And then there's little sprouts. I'm kind of curious to see what the little sprouts are going to turn out to be. That's fun. And then back here, if you look back there, there's actually, this is sphagnum moss that actually just sprouted in here spontaneously a long time ago, which is kind of cool. I mean, it came from the background. This background stuff has sphagnum moss in it, and a little sprig of it sprouted. And the fern has kind of obscured it, but that's kind of fun. So moss is starting to look good, mostly thanks to the stuff that Heather sent me. So thank you, Heather, for doing that. That was awesome. Let's see. So hopefully you've gotten a good look at that. And my tadpoles, hopefully I'm going to get a few more tadpoles. I've been trying to keep this nest full because I've got someone who'd requested some tadpoles. Maybe you're watching right now, I don't know. And so I've got one tadpole that's growing and just starting to show back legs. So I'm hoping to encourage some more. I need to fill that up and wash it out. Well, wash it up and fill it so that if they drop any tadpoles in there, it'll be ready. Anyway, that's about where we are. I've got to go do some other things, but thank you everyone for joining the live stream, and catch me at my next video on Friday.